a look at some of the stuff from Planet Apes. Okay, this is the Oberon space station, and the complete model is about 13.5 feet tall from top to bottom. Here we've got the bottom off. This is how we shot it for some of the shots, just so we can get the camera closer to it, and not to be so far up in the air. It's rigged with 2 motion control mounts. It's got internal lighting. It's got fluorescent and incandescent lights. And this model held up for some fairly close shots. We had some close shots that were very close to this hand, as the pod flew out beneath this, so we got very tight on this. We also built a miniature that's a close-up section of this, because when the pod leaves, he comes out from these little doorways that are inside the arm. This is the one area that we did in close-up, and this has got its backlit in here, and they did some beauty lighting from the back, and you see Mark Wahlberg's pod come out like this as it takes off.
Movies, science fiction is sort of a jump from reality per se, so we're not always doing what's real in space or what we know the scientists tell us to be real. We're evolving and developing a shot to what looks right. And for what is in the movie, the electromagnetic storm, basically the premise behind that storm is that it's disturbing the sound waves and all the communication on Earth. So that is kind of the backbone of these tsunamis that Tim has coined, that come flashing and crashing out of the electromagnetic storm. What I'm showing here is just some simple wireframe representations of the early testing that we did with the spheres and trying to figure out how they would move in relationship to each other. He kept talking about this idea of sonic booms. He liked that, and he kept throwing this emotional sound with it. So we tried to envision what would this sort of space electrical energy be if we had this sonic boom with it. So we ended up working and developed this whole idea of patterns of rings that were sort of roiling and developing over each other. Okay, so the first pass you're seeing here is what I would call the center core, or the most gaseous part of it, the element here. And unlike the spheres, this is rendered very soft and glowy with a lot of high energy. This next element is our most gaseous element, which is sort of blurred and softened and put over the top of the tsunami. This is what we call the core element, which have the most structure. And finally, I wanted to show the background plate that we composite the tsunami behind for the shot. Is sometimes when you get space movies, you've got spaceships and you know what they are, and they're shooting lasers and they're just flying through space. This tsunami, Tim didn't have an image that he wanted. It was more, let's come up and show him things. So it gave us an opportunity, gave me a good opportunity to sort of go in there and sort of bring my own aesthetic to the project, and I thought that was very exciting.
So, B, 34 feet, we're going to be looking up into our ceiling. Well, we might be farther back. We might be sitting underground. Why wouldn't you even want to be all the way back here? Because you're looking up at kind of down. You're up at the system. I think he's on the backside gathering up trees. What do you need? If you ever have to build a miniature bog, you can use shiitake mushrooms, and you can use self-pumping kitty litter in a pot. It really works well. It looks like bacteria. And it smells good, too. Is that bounce-free? You want this in here? Yeah. You can just hold it. And where did we decide the hit point was? Well, we have to. We moved that up to us. That's up to us. You can put behind me. Where's that here? It's like this. It just goes. Oh, it'll shape like this. Should actually hit and fall on the side. So all we're talking about really though is the hit position. Is it here or is it back there? Yeah. So we just push it back a little bit further, and if we take the wings off, we get the camera in and towards it. So it's more of a tilt and less of a pan. Well, here, Marty, I'm willing to look at just a lock off of it coming in. The point I want to get across in this shot is that it's descending. Right. The thing is coming down. Right. And that may come across in a locked off shot, and we can add a little bit of close move to it later. So Jack, just slowly, push it in. So see, look at that. Oh, we're going down. What about it? See, that's it right there. Right. Try it again. It's not much of a tilt, but it's telling the story.
Sorry interrupted by my brother. Interrupted.
Alright, everybody's clear? Roll video, please. Ready, and action! And cut. Back to one. Yeah, maybe a little bit before the old one. And it's bouncing like crazy. Yeah. So we try to just go back for it. You want to just do the original loop and see what that does? Yeah. This is the last one. Hey, Robbie. Let's just reset it to the perfect yesterday's note.
My name is Grady Kofer, and I'm a digital compositor here at Industrial Light and Magic. So if you follow me, we'll go to the bay. We'll be entering the saber department. I'm telegraphed by the dragon headed down the hallway. This way. This is the actual live action play. So this is the original play. And the map painting then was delivered here, and we combined the two. This is the new map paint of the sky. Then this kind of made this little kind of fractal fire flame, and we added little flickering fires, and of course a little bit of haze of dust in the foreground to kind of sell it. Here's your shot.
This one over here, this is Ape City. And this was the model that we used for the medium to long shots where you saw the whole city in the distance. So it's built big enough so the detail will hold up for that kind of thing. But then for close-up work, we needed some shots where we're actually in the city looking out. And they had a full-size set in Los Angeles at Sony. But for our shots, we built these larger scale models. We built them in forced perspective so that we could kind of compress the set and get the whole city in the shot.